What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's project, the final car from the China DLC. This is the Jueyuan Qianfeng, or something along those lines. I don't even know what to refer to this car as. We'll call it Bubble Car, because it's a little bit like a bubble, I guess. So I'm gonna stick with Bubble Car from now on. I've just come up with that, and I quite like it. There we go. This is available from all of the places. Obviously, this is the last one from the China DLC. Just the one config, so only the one to play around with. We got ours from the auction house, and it is in absolutely awful condition. And I kind of like that. It gives us something to do for today. Did we get a good deal? Absolutely not. Bought it for 3,294 and could sell it for 2,754 as is, losing out on 540 credits. The engine in this one is the i4 1.6 litre single overhead cam rear-wheel drive engine with 138 factory horsepower. We're going to take this one drag racing today because why not? It's going to be a little bit of fun. It's probably not going to be very good, but there we go. It's just going to be interesting. We've got a lot missing from that engine, so we've got to rebuild that one back up later, maybe including some of the TK Aftermarket stuff. We shall see. As for what we're going to do with this little beast, I'm not quite sure yet, but you've already seen the thumbnail, so let's get cracked on with it. The competition has now closed. We do know the winner. Obviously, I don't quite know yet, but I will later on today. I record this a day in advance, so I don't know who it is, but a new one will be starting very, very soon. In fact, it's already started by the time you see this video. So get over to the Discord, pick which car or vote for which car you'd like to work on next or to see everybody else work on next, and then get building with a car that we'll be working on announced on Sunday. But anyway, let's get back into this and let's get this beautiful little beast that's got a lot missing into the car wash. Let's get it cleaned up. In the car wash with the little bubble car. Let's get it cleaned and see how good that yellow is underneath it. We might be sticking with it today. I really have no idea. I haven't looked at any colours, any deliveries or anything for this one yet. Although, is that a black and yellow? Or is that just so dirty it's unbelievable? I do kind of like that. That may be what we actually end up sticking with. Although it does look a little bit like a taxi. So we shall see. Let's get the interior cleaned. Get this beast back on the lifter. Get what's left of that engine ripped out of there. And get everything else stripped down. Not much left of that engine, but we need to check for the oil pan. There is an oil pan. I'm actually quite surprised by that. So let's get you drained out and see how much oil was in there. Not very much, but it was pretty clean. I'll give it that. So there we go. Let's jump in and get started with the starter. Round we go. There is no starter. Adding that to my shopping list right away so we don't forget that one. Let's get the drive shaft out of here. No rusty bolts so far. I'm sure there's going to be a few though. 3 straight down at the back there. Out you come. Nice and simple. Loving the little spray can. I don't want to say the branded name just to be on the safe side. Let's get the gearbox out. Just the one rusty bolt on there. So that's not too bad at all. There we go. Out you come. And let's get the rest of that block ripped out and start stripping everything else down after we've checked out what's in the engine bay, if there's anything in there. It might all be missing. So there we go. The engine out. Let's get the crane put away because we don't need you for a moment. And yes, everything is missing from the engine. So I'm going to go and put that into my shopping list so that we don't forget it later on. It doesn't look like we have an ECU or anything like that, as has been the case with all of the China DLC cars. We do have the battery, the radiator, the fuse box, the wishy-wishy reservoir, the brake servo, and the fuel tank and fuel pump down the back. We're also missing all of the exhaust, so we've got to get all of that ready to go back in a little bit later on as well. But there we go. Nothing to drain out, nothing like that, so we're just going to crack on. I'm going to get the rest of the suspension all stripped out. When we come back, we start working on the bodywork. That's everything repaired, replaced, or upgraded, or ready to go back on the beautiful little bubble. But I will say, I decided to give this a fighting chance on the drag strip, and I've made all the performance parts 3-star. You'll notice my blue scrap. I'm trying to point the mouse at it, but it doesn't work. Blue scrap in the top right there has gone down quite a bit. Everything performance parts on this build is now a 3-star, giving it a little bit extra power. Hopefully giving it a fighting chance on the drag strip. But now, let's get on and get this body all stripped off. Already in the right mode. Just haven't got anything yet. That's on the inside. That's a door on the other side. I don't think we've really got much. One tail light and a rear bumper. Oh, and a license plate. Off you come there. What else have we got? That door. And I think that genuinely might be it. Quite a bit missing from this one. Obviously, we do have a little bit of interior. We got this bench seat and the steering wheel just there. Now, I do believe a lot of this inside is beige. We'll check that later when we get it all back together. Let's have a look, though. That's definitely the right screen. I have got everything. But there we go, 1%. Yeah, we've got everything. The frame is at 4%. And I bought the car for a little over 3,000. What do we think today? These have all been quite high. So I'm going to go 1,750. 2,000. I was right with the quite high, but not quite right on it. Look at that coming out nice and clean. It is yellow and black, or almost black, yellow and brown, maybe. We'll see when we check out the liveries later. But first off, let's have a look at the body shop for it. There it is, 2 pages of parts, nice and simple. Everything's like for like, because there is no body tuning options for these DLCs, or some of these DLCs. The drag racing DLC got all of the cars, got some performance parts on there, and so did the little Mazda. Where are you? You've got the trunk B for that lovely spoiler on there. But there we go. That's all the body panels sorted. Now we need to get it all repaired, get it all back on, buy what we need to buy, and get this beast into the paint shop. Let's get the beautiful bubble all back together then, ready to go into the paint shop, even if it is looking a bit like a taxi at the moment. There we go. On with the fenders, on with the hood. You can only put the headlights in after you've got the fenders on, so do bear that in mind. There we go. In you go and in you go. Windshield on there. Couple of lovely doors. We also need a couple of windows and a mirror, or 2 mirrors, 1 for each side. In you go and in you go there. Round to the back, rear window, the trunk and the bumper on there, along with the tail lights, which I actually really like. I think they look pretty cool. On you go and on you go. And then we've got the other 2 doors with the other 2 windows and the last piece on the mirror just there. We do have license plates. I know there hasn't been an update, so my text won't be fixed, but I have written bubble on my VM plates today. Not that you can still see it. Never mind, honestly. It's just one of those things. On you go and on you go. Hopefully it'll get fixed soon. But let's get the interior in and then check if we've got everything. The rear bench is the Winchester A. It is what it is. It looks good. And then we've got these lovely beige front seats on there. And the wheel from the Bolt Cape steering wheel on there. Now, the reason I have kept these 2 in the single-tone seats is because it is all very beige on that interior there. So that is all going to match up. We're probably going to leave most of that as it is. Might change the bases to black if we can, just to make it a little bit darker. And I'm not sure if we're going to do anything with the wheel, because we do have a bit of chrome on this. And I do think I'm going to leave it on there today. Maybe. We shall see. I might have changed my mind by the time we get there. But have we got everything? 100%, 100%, 100% we have. Let's get this into the paint shop. Check out the new liveries. In the paint shop with the little bubble, I'm going for a matte finish today. So at the moment, we've just got a matte black on there. But let's check out the liveries. Slot number 1 in the blue. I actually quite like that with the red. Good choice. With the black roof on there. That actually looks pretty good. Maybe we might change my mind, because I did have something in mind. But that matte blue looks nice. But anyway, slot number 2. Okay, I seem to have the first livery doubled, same as I had on before. Slot number 3, is that the same blue? Or is it ever so darker blue with the racing number on the side? Oh, and we've taken some of the yellow out of the text? Or does it just not look as yellow? Nope, there's still yellow, but never mind. There we go. Slot number 3. What? Oh, I need to add some light into it. There we go. Oh, slot number 3 is that what came on it, this reddy brown, I don't even know what to call that, because it's not black. It's got a bit of red to it. Dark browny colour, and then we can change the roof, the dashboard, and by the looks of that, the engine bay as well, which is quite nice. Slot number 4 is this red, and this is what I'm thinking on there. We've got that deep red, black roof. I'm quite liking that. Obviously, the black dashboard as well, and then obviously the engine bay is going to be black, which means we can put plenty of red onto the engine and make it look pretty cool. That's what my theory is at the moment. I'm going to use 2 types of red on it. But I might jump back to that early one. That blue did look very nice. What do we reckon? Then the engine bay will be black. We could add some blues. I'm going to stick with my red choice. I'm going to go with my red option. This one just here. I am liking that. I'm going to move that back down away from there. I've got the screws painted as well in a slightly brighter red than what's on the car right now. In fact, I'll show you the red that we're going to be throwing onto it. If we move that up to 75, move that up to 100, that's the red that we're going to be going for the screw colours, or there and thereabouts. Do need to take this off now, though. I can suppose leave the saturation at 100. But there we go. Check that that's all on there. It is indeed. Let's get you painted And I'm liking the look of that. I think I'm going to leave all the chrome work as well. And I may even leave some chrome wheels on it this time. Maybe. Who knows? We shall see. Oh, in fact, some chrome on the engine as well. This, I'm liking. I'm getting ideas just flying through my head as we go at the moment. This is what we're going to go for. I need to get everything else painted. Get this beast back on the lifter. And start getting it all back together. But I am thinking we are going to keep some chrome in this one today. That's everything painted on the little Chinese bubble and actually up in the air. I really like it with that front end and grille. I think it looks really, really nice. And I think I'm going to come back and make a gasser sort of mean drag style gasser build out of this one at some point. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. But let's get on and start some of this assembly. We got black shocks and red springs on there today. No carbon fiber, just a plain matte black. But as we go underneath, I'm just going to throw this rear drive axle on just so it's there. It is fully chromed out. We'll ignore the fact that this doesn't quite balance up. It will still look all right later on, I promise. But let's get back up to the front. In we go. Obviously, we're going to start with that cross member in the chrome there. Then we've got the sway bar in a black and that steering rack in a cheeky little red on there. I'm liking that. But now we're going to go on to some beautiful clips, some fancy editing, whatever you want to call it. And let me know what you think of it in the comments. When we come back, we'll talk about it a little bit before moving on to the engine and engine bay. Well, there we are, all finished, well, with half of the suspension at least anyway. Black, red, and a lovely shade of chrome on there as well. A few little black elements that are matched up with the front. Obviously, the spring, the shocks in the black, the spring in the red. We sort of kept that going with the theme down at the back there. The lower suspension arm in the red, also the solid axle controller arm in the red, brake calipers in the red, and then all the little accents just in black. Looking very, very nice with the main part in the chrome. We jump up to the front. Very, very similar. All looking pretty nice. Very pleased with that. Let's jump back down the back, though. Let's get that fuel tank in. Just in a cheeky little matte black with the fuel pump. Just in that matte red on the top. Looking very nice. Pleased with that. Let's move on, though. I'm going to crack on, get the rest of the suspension all finished. Then we'll come back and sort out the engine bay before going to building that beautiful i4 engine. There we are. All finished with the suspension. Looking fantastic in the black, red, and a beautiful chrome on there. But let's crack on, get the engine bay done. Fuse box is already in the lovely matching red on there. And then if we crack on up here, for the first time ever, I've painted the wishy-washy reservoir in a red. And it actually looks quite nice. Quite pleased with how that turned out. Still haven't painted the brake servo yet. We're going to leave that one as it is in its normal colour. And if we nip on down to the front here, we've got the battery tray in the lovely red. If I just put some torch on it, you can see it's the same colour. It's just a bit dark at the moment. Battery in there, obviously full 3-star performance. Everything performance is 3 stars. Then we've got the bracket on top in that lovely red, and then the bracket rods in a black on there. Just as a matte black, same as everywhere else. And that's looking pretty good. And then we've got the big old radiator at the front, which we've done in a red. Now that never works out, comes out the same red exactly, but it's very, very close if I'm being honest. So I'm quite pleased with that. It's looking quite nice in there because it's very dark, so we just needed a bit of red just to splash some colour in. Keep the torch on. It looks a little bit better. But it's going to look so much better when the engine goes in there. So let's go and build that bad boy. Lots of chrome on the block there. We've got it in chrome and red. The oil pan's in the matte red. The engine head is in the matte red on the outside and still some chrome in the middle there. Then we've got 1 camshaft, 5 camshaft caps to finish that one off. And that's pretty much all you need, except for the spark plugs, which just go in the side there. So we'll just get them in. And then, if I could click on them without jumping around the engine, in they all go. All 3-star and ready to rock. Let's move on, though. Front of the engine, we've got the cam gear. And I am using one of the TK Aftermarket parts because it fits. And I could 3-star it. So we got you in there in the red. Now, I did try and change this red without changing the black of the wheel, but you can't do that. But it's not far off the red anyway. Plus, it's going to be under a cover, so it won't matter. So let's get the belt on, and then a belt tensioner in. You go there. All going to be under the lovely red cover. On you go. Looking good in that same matte red. Keeping up that colour theme. Then we've got the power steering pump, which is in a chrome. The water pump, which is also in a chrome. Doesn't need a pulley on this one, because it's built in. and the alternator also in a chrome down there. This one isn't painted. That's just in its normal chrome. These two are obviously painted. And the crankshaft pulley, we did go for a TK Aftermarket one. I picked the red one in case I liked the colour, which I did, but I decided to keep it in the chrome, looking good on there. Then we got the belts, a blacked out one there and one just down at the bottom, which I almost couldn't click on then. And then a cheeky little idle roller, which is also in the chrome on there, looking pretty good. Down at the bottom, the oil filter housing, which we've just done in a black. These bolts are going to go red when it's in the car, so we will check that one out later. Oil filter's in red, but it goes red and this grey-black colour, which looked really nice, so we kept that as it was. Thermostat housing, it's just in the black. Then we've got the PCV valve housing, also in the black. Waiting for the last bolt there. In you go. Oh, jumped up too high. Underneath that, we've got the PCV valve. In you go in black and red. Tiny splash of that red up there. And then we've got the rear water outlet, also just in a little black on there. And then we should be able to get the hoses in. One hose black with red clips on it. The other hose can go in after the intake manifold. So let's get that in a chrome and red. Obviously, you've got the little bolt connections and the end just in that red. Very hard to get that to match because it's an ever so slightly different colour. But we'll pretend you don't know that. I've just gone up a level. 94. Thank you. Then we got the throttle, which we've done in a beautiful red on there. And we can get that other hose in underneath, which is the same in the black and the red clips. So I feel like it should have connected to something, which it definitely doesn't. But never mind. We shall move on. Fuel filter is just in a cheeky red. Then we've got the fuel rail, which is in a red with a little bit of chrome on it, just up there. And on these clips just here, or the connectors just here. And then let's get the engine head on. On you go in a beautiful matte red, matching in with that timing cover at the front there. Looking good. Then we got the ignition coils in a matte black. On you go. We also have a little cam position sensor in the matte black. And then we've got the ignition wires, which are also in that lovely matte red. The last piece to go on, the exhaust manifold goes in the car. And we have had the same problems we did with the last i4 with the front exhaust section. Couldn't be performance parts, which means it's not 3-star tuned either. So it's not quite fully 3-star tuned. But there we go. Let's get this engine dropped in and see how good it looks inside that engine bay. In we go. Pop you in. And I tell you what, we're not even going to look at it. We're going to come back in a minute and look at it once I've got all the exhaust and stuff in, because that exhaust manifold, I do think, finishes off the engine just a little bit. So let's get in underneath. On we go with the gearbox. Chrome and red. Looking very nice on there. Obviously, all them red bolts as well. They look fantastic. Round to the other side, the starter, which is just in a black with some lovely red bolts again. And then if we nip underneath, we've got the front exhaust section, the non-performance parts one, because I did have it and it changed it to non-performance parts. So we'll leave it at that, but it is chromed out apart from these sheathing. Now, with the performance parts sheathing, you can get them to go a colour. I did try and throw red on it, but I could only get the pipes to go red and the sheathing to go chrome, which was a bit of a shame. But there we go. Moving on, the catalytic converter, which is just the cat delete pipe in the chrome. Middle muffler, which is the resonator delete pipe, just in the chrome. And then the rear muffler, which is also in the chrome down there. The drive shaft, I did go for the carbon drive shaft again, because it gives the most power. But we took all the carbon out of it and made it red and chrome. Looking good. This has got no carbon on it, so the carbon really wouldn't have fit in this build anyway. That's pretty much it for the underside. We'll leave it there. We're going to go put the car back down on the ground, and we're going to get that exhaust manifold in and finish off that engine. I really do like the front end of this car. I'm hoping I can get that grille to go black when I do a custom build. Hopefully, fingers crossed. In we go. On we go with that exhaust manifold in a beautiful chrome on there with some lovely red bolts. Looking absolutely fantastic. I do love the little red bolt details. Obviously, down here, you've got them on that crankshaft. You've got them, obviously, on the alternator down here. They all look really good. The only place they don't look good is when I put the red head cover on, because they're just red on red. Although the colour is matched really well. Not quite that well, but there we go. Well enough. And that is looking good in there. Lots of red and chrome. And then the black surround really finishes it off. Loving it. We're going to get the windows tinted, liquids topped up, some beautiful wheels done, and get this bubble car outside in the sun. Well, there she is then, all finished with the Chinese bubble, or whatever we want to call this car. I like the look. The red and black really sort of bounces off, even with all the chrome. I don't normally like chrome. I'm normally a chrome delete person. Change the bumpers to black or something like that. But even in this car, the chrome works so well. I'm absolutely loving it. The engine looks absolutely fantastic in there. Normal torch. Loving all the chrome and the red accents, and then the black engine bay. I think it looks fantastic. Very, very impressed with that. For the wheels today, we went for the Rim Retro 11. You can see we've got some lovely two-tone on there. The red rim, I suppose, and then a chrome centre with the lovely red bolts on them, and not quite clipping with the TK Aftermarket brakes there, or the Brumbo brakes. The front rims are an 18-inch rim with 175 width and a 30 profile on the tyre. ET15 also required if you don't want them brakes to clip in. I think it looks pretty good, sort of nicely tucked in there, not too shabby. Down at the back, they're a little bit bigger. The rim itself is still an 18-inch rim, but the tyres are 245 width and still a 30 profile on there. And the rears need ET of 10 just to bring them out so that the brake calipers don't clip in there. Not too bad at all. I'm liking the look of them. The rear bench, we did get a bit of black on the underside and the seatbelt clips just there. And then we did the same for the front seats as well. And I did absolutely nothing with the front steering wheel because they already had black and chrome on it. So let's take a seat and check out this interior. I love the head-up display there. Well, not the head-up display, obviously. It's not a head-up display. But the central display, I think that looks absolutely fantastic in the middle there. And then obviously a little clock just off to the right. And an old, is that an 8-track player? I don't know. I want to say cassette, but it looks more like 8-track to me. But I'm liking it. It looks pretty good. But let's get it started and see what the i4 sounds like with all of the performance parts, all 3-starred. And yes, I know it makes absolutely no difference to the sound, but there we go. Let's give it some gas. We heard this one the other day in the off-road thing. It still sounds pretty cool. I'm liking it. But let's get this beast into the dyno, see what its horsepower is and what its drag rating will be. On the dyno with the last of the China DLC cars, the thing I'm not going to try, the bubble car as we've been calling it. Only 138 factory horsepower from that i4. How much have we added today? And what will its drag rating be? A gain of 103 horsepower, 75%. Bear in mind, there's no ECU or no carbs for additional tuning on this, but I did 3-star all but one performance part because I couldn't get it in performance part. Some kind of bug. Not sure what's going on with that there. There we go. Up to 240 horsepower. Winning with a drag rating of C, 211. I'm pretty confident we're not going to be breaking any records on the drag strip today, but I'm going to take it there anyway, just for a bit of fun. Now let's have a look at the gearbox tuning for today. Yeah, don't pay any attention to the speed numbers there. They are not accurate, as they haven't been throughout the entirety of the China DLC, which is very, very bizarre. And I'm not sure if it's related to the DLC or some of the additional mods I might have installed. As I said, no carburetors or ECUs to tune on this one, but there is shorts linked in the description below to learn how to tune them perfectly every time. So yes, this is the tuning we've gone for. The numbers are not accurate in any way, shape or form. I think first gear we're probably cutting off around 63, not 163. As for the rest of them, just not. Yeah. Anyway, let's just get this one onto the drag strip and see what we can do with a little bubble car. Back on the drag strip, and this time we're with the bubble car. I'm still not going to try and pronounce it. I think that's one of the hardest ones to pronounce, in my opinion. But anyway, let's go for it. King of the Sands, 1 mile. Definitely not going in A-class. We're only just in C-class, and I reckon if we didn't put slicks on it, we would have been in D-class. But we'll go on with it. We'll stick with it and see how we get on. Pay our 600 entry fee. And who have we got? Our first race is against the Echo's Cobra. I believe that's the Mercedes-looking thing. We've got King Slowpoke, nice, in the Virtual Mechanic Quattro Rally. Still top of the gravel track speeder board. Hopefully we can change that at some point in the future. Who else have we got with us? Multiply, also in an Echo's Cobra. Weird, but there we go. I'll accept that. Not too bad. Doesn't look like we've got too many friends with us today, but never mind. Let's get into our first race against Jacob Allen in the Echo's Cobra. Can we beat it with our little bubble thing? Of course, the Echo's Cobra is the Viper-looking thing and not the Mercedes-looking thing. That's the Olsen GTR or something like that. Got a little bit confused, but there we go. I don't think the Viper should be in this category. I think we might lose our first race. I'm certainly hoping not, because that's disappointing when it happens. But hopefully our little bubble, looking beautiful in that matte red, chrome and black, by the way. I think that colour looks absolutely stunning. Very deep red. But are we going to be able to beat the Echo's Cobra? Probably not. But there is only one way to find out. Let's go. Come on, you beautiful little Chinese bubble. Let's get off the line. Into second. into third if we're ever going to make it. There we go. And yeah, we are already losing. I think we might be out in the first round. Yeah, I don't think this car's ever going to be any good at drag racing, but it was worth it to see. Bearing in mind we did 3-star tune it and everything. And also, I'll let you know, we are in top gear. I'm just literally holding in the accelerator now. And yeah, just waiting for this car to get across the finish line. If it's ever going to do it, we will do two more. Only two more very quick 1v1s as we did go out of the tournament in the first round, which I kind of was expecting. But anyway, across the line, what have we got for our first run? 14.066 to the quarter of a mile. I probably could have ran it faster. The 1 mile at 38.074 seconds with a top speed of 195 kilometers an hour from the little Chinese bubble. Not the best, but there we go. We've been knocked out in the first round, which is a shame. Let's go see who's going to win this tournament, and then we'll do two more quick 1v1s. Unfortunately, King Slowpoke has been knocked out, but actually, I suppose, really, that's two rally cars facing off against each other. I would have picked the Audi Sport Quattro to win, in my personal opinion, but there we go. Multiply's still in the Echo's Cobra, and the rest of them are still in. So let's just get on to the next round. Who's going to make it through? Multiply is out. That's a shame. We've got the Ford Mustang Resto Mod 2, the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL with a black interior, Ford Bronco Mark 1 Resto Mod, and the other Echo's Cobra. Who's going to make it into the final? I kind of want it to be the Echo's Cobra. It is indeed, versus the Gullwing. Who's going to take the title? Echo's Cobra. It is the Gullwing. The Gullwing has taken the total. Taking the victory. I don't know what I was thinking of there, taking the total. The Gullwing has taken the victory, beating out the Echo's Cobra that did knock us out, which is a bit of a shame. But anyway, no winnings to collect, so let's just get on and get two more 1v1s done, just so we can get some average times down on the board. Let's face it, the tournament was probably a bad idea with this little beast, so let's just get in and do two 1v1s. We are going to keep it at the 1 mile, just to keep it fair. 3 randomizations, 1, 2, 3, and we're against the black interior 300 SL. That is the one that just won the tournament. So hopefully we might beat it. I don't think we're going to be able to, but let's get in and give it a go nonetheless. I'll be honest, not a big fan of it in white. Or cream or beige. I don't really know what colour that's meant to be. It looks like white, but yeah, doesn't really look overly fantastic. It's still nice, but not that good. I definitely prefer our little bubble car today. That definitely looks a lot better. Colour-wise, the body of the 300 SL is the most beautiful car I have ever seen in my life. But anyway, are we going to be able to beat it in our quick 1v1? Let's go. Come on, you little bubble. Let's get off the line. We've got to beat the Gullwing into second. I can't see it pulling away at the moment. Into third. Are we in front? No, it is pulling away. Yeah, I did kind of think this was going to be the case. But it is one of them things. Let's just get into top gear and see if we can beat our own run. Our top speed time of 14.066 to the quarter of a mile, 38.074 to the 1 mile, and a top speed of 195 kilometers an hour. Although I don't think we're going to do it. I think we just have to sit here and patiently wait for the car to get across the finish line. But we are in the C class of the drag tournament, so it's kind of my own fault, I guess. Anyway, across the line, did we manage to beat our first run? 13.957 to the quarter of a mile. We did. We got under 14 seconds. 37.977 to the 1 mile. Again, under 38 seconds. Top speed still the same at 195 kilometers an hour. Let's just do one more and get this beast back to the garage. Here we go then. 3 more randomizations. 1, 2, 3. And we've ended up on the Plymouth Roadrunner. DLC versus DLC. Although we have got a better drag rating than us. But we've got tuning and slick tyres. They're only on race tyres and no tuning. So we might have a little bit of a chance. It's still very doubtful. So let's get in and let's go. You can hear the Roadrunner ticking over from here. I absolutely love that tick over. One of the most beautiful sounds. Just one of the most beautiful sounds. I was going to say in the game, but I still think it's a beautiful sound anywhere else. Our final race of the day. Are we going to be able to win one? Please let us win one. Although it is doubtful. So let's just get in. Let's go. Come on, you little bubble. Burst the bubble of failure. I don't know. It was worth a shot. But we're going to try. Come on. Can we beat the Roadrunner? It's highly doubtful. Yeah, it's already pulling away from us. And we're probably not even at the quarter of a mile yet. I think we've just gone past the quarter of a mile. So there we go. Not the best from the little Chinese bubble car. What do you think of this one? Do let me know in the comments below. Always happy to hear your thoughts. And also, while we've got a bit of time, any suggestions? You got any ideas, something that you'd like to see built? Let me know in a specific style or anything like that. Leave it in a comment. I will certainly try and get to it and give it a go. But let's get this across the finish line for the final time today. What have we got? Is it better than our second run? No, it's actually not. 14.052, still better than our first run, but not as good as our second run. 38.067 to the 1 mile, better than our first run, but not the best run we've done. Top speed still the same, at 195 kilometers an hour. So there we go. We lost 3 for 3 drag racing, and I do think that is the first time that has ever happened to me playing this game. Stupid China DLC. Ruining my fun. That's not true. I've loved the China DLC. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Yes, the cars aren't the quickest on any circuit, any track that you try and pin them on, but they are a lot of fun. They are fun builds, and if you have to spare money, you should definitely grab this one for yourself. Let's get this one back to the garage, see where it would go on our speeder board, and see if we can sell it on for a tasty bit of profit. There she is, all finished. I think she looks fantastic, and I love that engine, even if it wasn't quick enough to do anything, really. 13.957 was the best time to the quarter of a mile. 37.977 seconds was the best time to the 1 mile. And with a top speed of 195 kilometers an hour, this was never going to be the best car we've ever done. But it wasn't last, I can tell you that. 92nd out of 95, and just beating out the Long Teng limousine, the first one we did from the China DLC. So there we go, not too shabby at all. But let's talk facts and figures. I bought the car for 3,294. Could have sold at the beginning and lost out on 540, but we didn't do that. We spent a further 57,471 upgrading, painting, tuning, and modifying this beautiful little car, putting our total spend at 60,765. Is there some money to be made? Let's get in. Let's take a look. Well, there it is, all 100% finished. Obviously, that low drag rating on there was a bit of a shame, but it's one of those things. I still enjoyed it nonetheless. We did manage to squeeze more out of that engine. 138 horsepower we started with, and we gained got it up to 240, which was a gain of 75% in total. So it's not too bad. I will be a bit happy with it. But we spent 60,765. Is there some money? There is some money. With a sale of 153,940, leaves us with a profit of 93,175. Wasn't expecting that. I'm not going to lie. Very impressed with this little beast. Obviously not the racing ability, but the looks and how much it's selling for, and it just looks fantastic. But there we go. It is time to say goodbye. Let's get our money from that. Thank you very much. The last of the China DLC. What did you guys think of it? Do let me know in the comments. Have you got it yourself? Will you be getting it? Let me know. I'm interested to hear. I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of the China DLC. But what have we got coming up next now that we've finished with the DLC? Well, this is the most popular config on the Steam Workshop, so let's give it a go. This is the most subscribed to config on the Workshop, and it is the Sakura Super, or the Toyota Super ripoff, and this one's called the Smoky V12, and I'm going to assume that it's got a V12 engine in it. It does indeed. The V12 double overhead cam MRC engine with 405 factory horsepower. We're going to increase that by quite a lot, I imagine, in the next episode. Where do you want to see this one? On the drag strip or on the racetrack? Let me know in the comments. Did we get a good deal for it? Absolutely not. Bought it for 19,972 and can sell it for 16,649, losing out on 3,323, which is never a good start, but it is what it is. That's it for today. Do make sure you join us back here on Monday when I'll be tackling the most popular config on the Steam Workshop. What do you think of configs on the Steam Workshop? I know they're not everybody's cup of tea. Most people prefer the mod cars, but I do like a mod config every now and then. It's nice to play around with something a little bit different. But anyway, what did you think of the bubble car today? Let me know in the comments. Leave a cheeky little like and share this video with anyone you might think might be interested in it, especially if you've got friends that enjoy playing Car Mechanic Simulator. Chances are they might enjoy my videos and customization. So let them know. Make sure you are subscribed yourself. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking around to the end. One of the best ways you can support me. I really do appreciate it. Have a beautiful weekend, whatever it is you're getting up to. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Like and subscribe for Virtual Mechanic.